third graders. Today we are going to talk about adjectives. Now you might be asking yourself, what is an adjective? And a lot of you were asking that question on Monday when we had our mini lesson on our mentor sentence. And I said, hey, you know what? We need to talk about this. We need to talk about what an adjective is. So, an adjective is a part of speech. And you know what parts of speech are. They're part of our language. Now, when I was doing that little mini lesson with you on Monday, you know what a noun is. You were able to tell me what a noun is, which I was really happy about. Because as third graders, you should know that. You know what a noun is. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. When we had our mini lesson, we were talking about ideas like a dream would be an idea. That's a noun, right? So you also know, I found in our mini lesson, what a verb is, which I was really happy about. Now, you might not know all the verbs because there are verbs that tell us the state of being, and we'll get into that later, but you are very familiar with action verbs, and that's great. Well, adjectives fall into this same category of parts of speech. It is closely like it cannot function without a noun. It cannot function without a noun. An adjective's main job, because all parts of speech have a job, its main job is to help the noun out. It tells us all about the noun. Not all about it, but what kind and how many. So when I say what kind, this is the things I'm talking about. Like, what color? What kind of shirt? Oh, it's a blue shirt. Right? Like color. Color words are adjectives. White. Bluish. It's a bluish color shirt. Right? Then we have, oh, there's more, my friends. There are plenty more. Adjectives like to tell us more about the noun by telling us, oh, a different color here, what size? Size. The size of something. Okay? Is it huge? Is it small? Is it teeny tiny? Is it miniature? Is it gigantic? Size. All these words that I'm saying out loud around their little cloud, those are adjectives, those descriptive, juicy words. I like to call them juicy words because they're full of flavor. They make your writing interesting and detailed. We want to know everything there is about what you're talking about. Another thing is how many. So we're talking about number words here, or even a. A indicates one, right? A book, a story. 200. Right? Then we have, let's get another color here, more descriptive words, like words that tell us how something sounds. Loud, soft, deafening even. It's a big one. Deafening. That's really loud. Could something sound pretty? Yes. Music can sound very pretty. Let's talk about more. Adjectives can tell us how something behaves. How something behaves. Like, is someone graceful, silly, well, how nouns behave. Another thing adjectives tell us is how something feels. Now, when I say something, I'm talking about a noun, so that something could be a person, but that something can also be an object. So I'm just going to put how something feels. Now, if we were talking about people and feelings, it could be simple words like happy, sad, healthy, joyful. Like adding those words with suffixes. See how suffixes improve our vocabulary? We learned a lot of suffixes. What's some more? Eager means you're really willing, excited, cheerful, relieved, stressed out, right? How something feels, if you're talking about an object, it might be the texture, something like rocky, sharp. Those scissors were sharp. The noun being scissors, the adjective being sharp. Soft. That bed was soft. The noun being bed, the adjective being soft. Also, let's change it up here. Make a little orange. We haven't made an orange little blurb. An adjective tells you how something looks. Oh, yes. Yes, it does. How something, or how a noun, we'll say how a noun looks. Looks or seems even. Sometimes things seem impossible. Impossible. Like in our story, the stone thrower. He thought his dream was impossible, dream being the noun, impossible being the adjective. It's describing the dream. He thought it was impossible. Then, what about glamorous? Oh, it's so fancy. Glamorous. Are you noticing that I'm trying to sneak in those suffixes? I hope you are. I have them all over the place here. We want that rich vocabulary when we're learning how to be writers. And also, we want to know what real authors do so we can mimic them, we can imitate them. And we're going to practice doing that tomorrow with our mentor sentence. But you need to know what an adjective is because today we are going to read some sentences together and we are going to identify the adjectives. Now remember, adjectives tell us all about the noun. So we're going to have to be able to identify the noun first, and then we can identify how it's being described. So let's give it a try. And remember, we are looking for those words that really go hand in hand with our senses. Our senses smell. It could be how something smells. Oh, we could have added that on here. How something tastes. That was delicious. Delicious would be the adjective. Now, if I want to get more specific with my noun, I can say that pizza was delicious. So let's look at some sentences here. Let me go ahead and go right here to our sentences. And let me bring my marker down here. And so we're ready to go. I'm going to read aloud these sentences, and you're going to have some to try on your own in Schoology. Oh, looks like I added something here that I didn't want. So Alex and Mia went to the big park. All right, this is underline my adjectives in green. So maybe I should find a green. But you know what? I'm going to find my nouns first. I'm going to find my nouns first, and then I'm going to find my adjectives, okay? So Alex and Mia went to the big park. Now, in order to find my adjective, I want to find my nouns, okay? What's being described here? Now, Alex and Mia went, okay? That's Alex and Mia are nouns, but they're not really, there's not a lot of detail there about them, except that they went somewhere, and went is a verb. So let's see. Alex and Mia went to the big park. Now, park, I know, is a noun. There is a adjective right here. Look. What kind of park? A big park. Oh, I drew a circle. Didn't know I was going to do that. Let's see. I just want the marker. A big park. We'll just leave that box there. I thought it was going to let me color on this. Let's try it with that. Let me try this again. Big. I made the color again. Let's try to make this one clear. There we go. I made a nice circle. Big is the adjective. What is it describing? It's describing the size of the park. The tall superhero saved the old lady. Wow, there's a few nouns in here. Let's see if they are described. Superhero is a noun. It's a person. And a lady is also a noun. It's a person. Let's see if they're described. The tall superhero. Yes, yes, yes. Tall. That's telling me what kind of superhero? Well, a tall one, of course. What kind of lady? An old lady. I am circling the adjectives. They are descriptive words that add flavor to our sentences by describing the noun in detail. What kind? How many? What color? What size? Okay, what it looks like. Mr. Jones is a good teacher. Who is Mr. Jones? He's a teacher. That's a noun. What kind of teacher is he? He's a good teacher. Good is the adjective. The brave superhero wore a red mask. The noun is the who or the what. That's a superhero. Are there any more? Yes. Mask. Okay. Are these things being described with adjectives? Let's find out. What kind of superhero? The brave superhero. What kind of mask? The red mask. Now, if you really want to go into detail about adjectives, you could even say A tells us how many. One mask, right? A mask. The happy children waited for the yellow bus. Here's my noun. Noun. Any other nouns? Yes, bus. Okay. What kind of children? Oh, they were happy children. Waited for the bus. What kind of bus? The yellow bus. Notice how these adjectives add a little flavor to these sentences by giving it a little bit more detail. Without them, it would be kind of bland. Like if this sentence below, if we took out happy and we took out yellow, it would just say this. The children waited for the bus. Nothing special, nothing specific, right? Doesn't really narrow it down. Like what children? What kind of bus? These adjectives give us that detail to spice up our sentences. You're going to do this activity on Schoology. It's pretty much the same activity we just did together. You're going to do it for your independent work today. So I'm going to go ahead and take you there. So let's go to Schoology. I'm going to go to reading because this is our reading lesson. You have your fluency passages to read. Make sure you're listening to me read them out loud so you can catch those words that gave you a little bit of trouble, okay? And then you can practice with me and then practice without me. So don't forget to practice your fluency your passages before you record them. Your activity here is adjective sentences. You are going to read. I'm not going to read these for you. You need to read these sentences. Okay? So find the adjectives. Pay attention to these directions carefully. Some of us do not read the directions and it gets you in trouble, okay? So you have your marker here. Underline the adjectives and circle the nouns. Now, I know that's the opposite I just did in my model. So let's try this. I'm going to do number 1 with you. So you know you have to underline your adjectives, okay? And then you have to circle the nouns, okay, that are being described. I should have in my model did that, but I didn't. But just know, you are underlining the adjectives and circling the nouns. Don't get those confused because if you do, I'm going to think that you don't know what an adjective is. All adjectives need to be underlined. I'll repeat, all adjectives need to be underlined. You're circling the noun because you need to know what is being described. So let's do number 1. We'll actually do number 1 and 2 together. The dangerous crocodile wanted to eat us. Oh, what? The who? The noun needs to be circled, and it's the crocodile. That's the noun. What kind of crocodile? I'll tell you, it was a dangerous crocodile. You notice that suffix, me too. Dangerous, us, meaning characteristics of danger. Yes, crocodiles do have characteristics of danger. Notice how I underlined the adjective and circled the noun. Now, if you don't do this correctly, I'm going to know you didn't watch this video. For all of you who didn't. All right, so number 2, the brave superhero came to our rescue. Find my nouns. That's key. You know what a noun is. Find your nouns first because you know an adjective describes the noun. My noun is superhero. Just circle that. Now, what kind of superhero? Well, he was a brave superhero. Are you noticing what I'm noticing? That most of the time the adjectives are right before the nouns, but not always. All right, read carefully, take your time, and yes, if something doesn't make sense when you're reading, please try to correct yourself and decode those words, chunk it out. Use those decoding skills that we learn in spelling because it does you no good if you just skip over words because you're not comprehending what's going on. You're not understanding the sentence, and that can hinder your understanding. Also, you know how to decode words. You know what makes sense. If you say to yourself, that doesn't make sense. That just sounded like a nonsense word because you said it wrong. So go back and try it again. You have time today to really exercise those decoding skills with this exercise. Remember to underline the adjectives. Circle the noun. Have fun with this. These sentences are fun